If you're over 60, this might be the most valuable video you watch this month. Now imagine this. You're tucked into bed, completely drained, but your thoughts won't stop racing. You adjust your position, your shoulders feel tight, and you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m. watching the shadows on the wall. What do you do now? Here's what almost nobody tells you about sleep after 60. A landmark 2023 study from the International Journal of Sleep Research discovered that more than 65% of older adults don't lose sleep because they're aging. They lose it because of accumulated tension in their nervous system that conventional sleep guidance completely overlooks. And this is what stunned the research team. The seniors who consistently enjoy deep, restorative sleep all shared one surprising habit. They performed a series of targeted movements each evening that most healthcare providers never discuss. And a renowned sleep specialist from Sweden tested those precise movements in a program involving over 850 seniors. After only 3 weeks, more than 75% were drifting off more easily and waking up feeling less rigid and sore. And in today's conversation, he'll guide you through exactly how to reclaim your body's natural sleep pattern, completely drug-free. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast. Doctor, I've been anticipating this conversation for days. Me too, John. Our viewers are going to appreciate this episode because of how accessible it is. No special equipment, no complex positions, just gentle movements that anyone can practice right at home. And these stretches aren't simply about becoming more limber. This is about whether you peacefully fall asleep at 10 p.m. or find yourself awake at 3 a.m. rigid and frustrated. Incredible. Because for so many people I speak with, it's not just about getting rest, it's about what rest means to them. Tranquility, recovery, the capacity to feel comfortable in their own skin again. So, if you are still with us, please stay until the very end. Absolutely. I've guided thousands of older adults throughout my career, and the reality is that most aren't dealing with clinical insomnia. They're simply carrying tension they never learned to release. Their bodies aren't exhausted, they're overstimulated. And viewers will notice a shift tonight by following today's guidance. So, what will we cover? I'll walk through the precise stretch routine I recommend to my clients, including the breathing technique that elite athletes use to deactivate stress rapidly. We'll begin in a seated position, then transition to several bedside movements that naturally recalibrate your nervous system. And by the end, I'll demonstrate a posture that lowers cortisol and tells your brain it's safe to sleep. That brings to mind a client I worked with recently, Mr. Tanaka, 79. He hadn't experienced a full night's rest in nearly 15 years. Told me his ability to sleep had vanished completely. But after just 2 weeks of a straightforward evening routine, he was sleeping 5, sometimes 6 hours continuously. No medications, no devices, just peace. That's the transformation that comes from resetting the nervous system. So, we will explore the first step shortly. Just one question. Why does sleep become so difficult after 60, doctor? What's actually occurring in the mind and body when that natural rhythm starts to break down? It starts with something even more subtle than sleeplessness. After 60, your nervous system, particularly the component responsible for evening relaxation, stops functioning the way it once did. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because your brain starts to assume you don't require that profound restoration anymore. It's the consequence of prolonged activation. The body grows accustomed to tension just as readily as it grows accustomed to calm. That's precisely what I observe. People tell me, but I walk around the block every night. And I respond, yes, but that doesn't recalibrate your stress pathways. It doesn't communicate safety, right? Genuine rest isn't just about being unconscious. It's about the capacity to access stillness. And that's a learned ability. It relies on breath control, body alignment, and intentional movement. Most people don't understand that the body can be retrained to fall asleep naturally if we provide it with the proper signals. And for that, we need to re-educate both the physical body and the mind. So it's not purely mental, it's physiological too. Yes, the breath and body are the command center for the brain. That's why I don't simply offer sleep tips, I guide the entire nervous system. That's a profound shift in perspective. We talk about unwinding, but nobody actually teaches us the method. So how do we begin? Before we stretch anything, we start with the breath. Because sleep doesn't originate in the muscles, it originates in the nervous system. And one of the most effective ways to settle that system is a straightforward breathing pattern called box breathing. Box breathing. I've come across that term. Yes, John, it's quite well known. It's practiced by healthcare professionals, mental health specialists, and even special operations units, not to prepare for action, but to silence the brain's alarm response. So what's the technique? The approach is elegant. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and pause for another 4. Complete this pattern 4 to 5 times, and your pulse, cortisol production, and anxious thoughts all start to settle. I've shared this exact pattern with clients who wrestle with falling asleep, and many are amazed by how rapidly it works. It's like activating the off switch without pharmaceuticals. Precisely. And the secret isn't to control the breath forcefully, but to shape it gently. The more gradual and subtle, the more effective. You can sit at the edge of your mattress, rest your hands on your legs, and just lower your eyelids. The objective is to sense the breath in the lower abdomen and not just the upper chest. This signals to your vagus nerve the body is protected, correct? Yes, that single signal by itself has been demonstrated in research to decrease blood pressure and worry within moments. So this isn't merely about feeling relaxed, it's about transitioning your body from alert mode into recovery mode. And we can demonstrate exactly how it appears with today's visual demonstration, right? You'll observe the breathing pattern shown clearly in the footage we've prepared. But even if you're just listening, experiment with it now. Just 4 rounds. Inhale, hold, exhale, pause. No hurry, no effort. Allow the rhythm to work naturally. And if you want to deepen the practice, you can continue for 5 minutes. Many of my clients report that's when the genuine shift occurs. Their mental chatter quiets, their physical body softens, and rest arrives more naturally. That's remarkable. And now that we've settled the system, where do we proceed? What's the first physical movement toward readying the body for sleep? Now we add gentle motion, and we start at the top with the shoulders. Why? Because when people hold stress, the shoulders are one of the primary locations it accumulates. Tension gathers there silently, restricting posture and blocking relaxation. So we rotate them backward and forward slowly without pushing. It seems basic, but there's an entire cascade of effects happening beneath the surface, isn't there? Yes, rotating the shoulders accomplishes more than releasing muscles. It creates space in the upper spine, improves circulation, and starts to harmonize movement with breath. That's the key. You're not just moving, you're rebuilding the dialogue between the nervous system and the physical form. And it's also one of those actions people gradually stop doing until suddenly they can't glance behind them or rest flat without discomfort. Exactly. I suggest sitting tall, feet planted on the ground, hands resting softly on your legs. From there, just start to rotate the shoulders back in a slow, complete circle. Perform 6 to 8 gradual rotations backward, then reverse direction. Let your breathing flow with the motion. No strain, just presence. So the emphasis isn't on technique, it's on awareness. That's right. And if you notice tightness, that's perfectly fine. You're not attempting to eliminate it forcefully, you're simply welcoming the tension to dissolve. With practice, that welcome becomes automatic. What I appreciate is that this can be performed in bed or even from a chair, and it tells the body we're transitioning into rest now. Exactly. We're conditioning the body to change states, and the more consistently you combine this movement with your nighttime ritual, the quicker that signal registers. Think of it like adjusting a light dimmer each evening, just a bit more ease. So shoulders rotated, breath steady. Where does the stretch sequence continue? Now we turn inward. It's called the bear hug, and it accomplishes more than you might think. It expands the upper back, releases the chest, and gently engages muscles around the spine. But it also has an unexpected psychological benefit. Embracing yourself helps reduce cortisol, the tension hormone, and communicates safety to the nervous system. That resonates deeply. It's like granting the body permission to relax. Exactly. Sit tall or recline back slightly, then softly cross your arms over your chest, left over right or right over left, whichever feels comfortable. From here, just hold. Breathe in, then exhale gently, letting your elbows gradually draw in nearer. Continue the breathing and holding for around 20 seconds. So this is really about establishing calm, not demanding a stretch. Correct. It's not about flexibility, it's about restoration. You're telling your nervous system, we are protected, we can relax now. Would you recommend switching sides? Yes, after 1 or 2 gentle breaths, change the arm on top, then repeat the same action. Hold, breathe in, exhale, release. You might even sense your upper back or shoulder blades expand just a fraction. That's a positive indicator. It means the connective tissue is releasing. It's remarkable how something so subtle can create such a significant shift in how you experience your body. The most transformative movements are frequently the most delicate because they cooperate with the body, not against it. This one helps correct posture, reduces that compressed forward position many people adopt, and helps settle the chest, where tension often resides.
So from this moment of quiet, what comes next? So once we've released the upper body, is it time to lie down?
Yes, lying down helps transition the nervous system toward rest. It stabilizes the body, releases pressure in the spine, and allows the breath to expand. I always recommend lying flat on the back, knees bent or extended, depending on what feels right. Position a pillow beneath your knees if your lower back requires support. Let your arms settle beside you, palms facing up. A message to the body that it's safe to surrender.
I appreciate that. Just that description alone makes you want to exhale.
Now from that resting posture, we start with a small but impactful movement, head turns. Softly turn your head to the right, then back to center, then gradually to the left and return. Repeat this a few times with your breath. It dissolves deep tension around the neck and brainstem, where many older adults unknowingly store stress.
And I imagine it also signals the eyes, the equilibrium centers, the entire balance system that it's time to slow down.
Exactly. It's not just muscular, it's neurological. After the head turns, bend both knees with your feet flat on the mattress. Gently sway your knees from side to side. There's no target here. Just allow the hips and lower back to shift softly like a gentle wave. Continue this for 30 seconds to a minute. It relieves the spine and nourishes the pelvic joints.
This is such a valuable perspective. Most people assume sleep preparation is about supplements or complete darkness, but this is about restoring the body's inherent capacity to rest.
When you reestablish safety and gentleness into the nervous system, the body performs what it was designed to do: heal. Sleep isn't just unconsciousness, it's profound cellular restoration. And this type of movement helps activate it.
That creates the sensation of just drifting into rest. But for those of us who spend hours sitting or have inflexible hips, is there something we can do to address the lower body particularly?
Yes, and that introduces us to a stretch that's particularly beneficial, the hamstring release. Many seniors don't understand how much restricted hamstrings disrupt sleep. When those muscles are contracted, they strain the pelvis and lower spine, generating discomfort even while resting. That's why this gentle stretch is so valuable before sleep. It releases the tension from hours of sitting and signals the legs to soften.
And I assume this is one of those stretches that can be modified based on someone's range of motion?
Precisely. If you're comfortable, lie on your back with one knee bent and the other leg lifted gently upward. Support the back of your thigh or calf, not the foot, and breathe into the stretch. If that's too demanding, simply bend the knee slightly or even support it with a towel beneath the thigh. The objective isn't range, it's relaxation.
That's such a crucial distinction. You're not pursuing flexibility, you're welcoming calm.
Exactly. Maintain for approximately 20 seconds per leg, breathing deeply. Then alternate sides. You may discover one side feels more restricted. That's fine. It's information about where the body needs care, not a deficiency.
So let's conclude powerfully. What's the final thing we can do to completely signal to the body it's time to surrender?
We conclude with the hips, specifically a gentle passive stretch where the soles of the feet connect and the knees open outward. It's recognized for expanding the inner thighs and pelvis, but more significantly, it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the system responsible for rest and renewal. By maintaining this position and breathing gradually, you're providing the brain a final signal that the day has ended.
How long should someone maintain it?
Begin with 30 seconds and extend up to 2 minutes if it feels comfortable. If your knees don't naturally lower all the way, position pillows underneath for support. This isn't about demanding range, it's about settling into gravity. And as always, keep breathing. That's the constant thread in all of this, isn't it? Movement, but without struggle. Breath, without pressure.
Exactly. And now we complete with a full body extension. Arms overhead, feet stretched out long, like a tree extending its roots and branches. This releases any remaining stored tension and expands the lungs one final time. Some people enjoy gently flexing their feet or circling their wrists. I say follow what feels natural. You've earned it. So, doctor, we are not finished yet. Although this sequence is complete, viewers need to understand this. Although the body is stretched, the mind is settled and clearly in a different state than when we started. What would you say to the viewer who still feels unsettled, who's concerned that even with these movements, they won't fall asleep?
I would say you are not damaged. You're simply holding too much activation from the day, and it needs a gentle pathway out. These movements aren't instant solutions. They're invitations to reconnect, to inhabit your body again, and allow rest to emerge naturally.
That's really reassuring because for so many people, the challenge isn't falling asleep. It's believing that sleep will arrive.
Exactly. Sleep doesn't respond to willpower. It responds to permission. And these stretches, they're one of the most compassionate ways to offer that permission.
You've mentioned before that sleep is like a garden. It flourishes best in a quiet, nurtured environment.
Yes, and even if tonight isn't perfect, the message you're communicating to your body is significant. You're saying, I'm safe, I'm home, and I'm ready to rest.
Beautiful, doctor. And to everyone still watching, we'd love to see you comment that you completed the episode, and please give the video a thumbs up. It distinguishes you from the rest. We value all of you and look forward to seeing you in the next episode.